You know, we usually think of reading as just, well, a way to get information, right? But what if I told you it's doing something way more profound? What if it could physically restructure and upgrade the most powerful tool you own, your brain? Today, we're diving into the neuroscience of how picking up a book literally changes your mind for the better.
Okay, think about some of the most successful people on the planet. You've got Elon Musk, who pretty much taught himself rocket science by just devouring textbooks. Then there's Warren Buffett, who famously reads about 500 pages every single day. And Bill Gates, he knocks out about 50 books a year.
So what's the big secret here? It's not just about hoarding facts. They understand something fundamental about what reading really does. It's not just that reading gives you new information, it actually gives you a new brain.
All right, let's start with a choice you make every single day, probably without even thinking about it. It's the choice between picking up a book and picking up your phone. And believe it or not, this choice fires up two completely different modes in your brain. And the difference is, well, it's night and day. When you're scrolling, your brain is just chasing these quick, cheap hits of dopamine. Your attention span shrinks, you're only processing things on the surface, and you barely remember any of it. But when you open a book, oh man, that's when the CEO of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, clocks in and gets to work. You go into deep processing mode, your focus gets razor sharp, and your ability to think critically just expands.
And get this isn't just a temporary boost. There was this groundbreaking study from MIT that found sustained reading can increase your concentration span by a staggering 50%. The best part? That change is permanent. It carries over into everything else you do.
So here's the bottom line. Your brain is always rewiring itself based on your habits. Every single time you choose that book over that phone, you are actively deciding which future to build. You're either strengthening the neural pathways for distraction, or you're building superhighways for deep, focused intelligence.
Okay, so we know reading makes you analytically smarter. That's a given. But here's something that might actually surprise you. Reading, specifically fiction, can make you better with people. It all comes down to this concept that neuroscientists call theory of mind. Now that sounds complicated, but it's really simple. It's the basic social skill of recognizing that other people have their own perspectives, their own beliefs, their own feelings. It is, quite literally, the foundation of empathy. So here's how a novel does this. When you're reading, you're not just some passive observer. You actually step inside a character's head. You experience their world, you feel their fears, you understand their motivations. Your brain is basically running a simulation of what it's like to be someone else. And the wildest part? The same parts of your brain that light up when you're talking to a real person also fire up when you're reading about characters. It's like a workout for your empathy muscles. And yeah, a Harvard study confirmed it. People who read fiction regularly score way higher on tests for emotional intelligence. So, next time you're lost in a great story, just remember this. You're not just escaping reality for a bit. You're running a highly sophisticated simulation, training your brain to understand the most complex system there is, other people. So on top of focus and empathy, reading gives you this third incredible upgrade, the ability to connect ideas. See, it's not about what you learn in one book, it's about how the knowledge from many books starts to intersect and connect. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's brilliant business partner, had a great name for this. He called it a latticework of mental models. So what are mental models? Think of them like different tools in a toolbox for your mind. A psychologist has a tool for understanding human bias. An economist has a tool for understanding incentives. A biologist has a tool for understanding systems. The more tools you collect from different fields, the clearer you can see how the world really works. And reading is the fastest way to build up this toolbox. You read philosophy, you start to understand ethics. You read economics, you grasp how systems and incentives work. You read psychology, you see what drives people. But the real magic, the real genius, is when those ideas start to connect. An idea from biology suddenly makes sense of something you read about in economics. You start seeing patterns no one else does, creating insights that are totally, uniquely yours.
Warren Buffett really said it best. Reading isn't additive, it's exponential. It's like compound interest for your brain. The more you know, the more you can know. Because every new idea links into this huge web of existing knowledge, making the whole thing stronger and more valuable. So, we've talked about the what, but what about the how? What's actually happening physically inside your head when you sit down with a book? Let's take a look at the biology. This entire process is possible because of one amazing property of your brain, neuroplasticity. See, your brain isn't a fixed, static thing. It's constantly changing, remodeling itself, based on everything you do. It is literally built to be rewired. Let's use an analogy. Think of a brain with just a few developed connections as a small town with only a couple of main roads. Getting from point A to point B is slow, traffic gets jammed up easily, it's just not very efficient.
Now, every time you read and you process something new, you are literally building new connections between your neurons. In our analogy, you're paving new roads, you're building bridges, you're creating entire highways. You're upgrading your city's infrastructure. And the result, with a denser network of pathways, information travels way faster and way more efficiently. This isn't just a metaphor. This is the physical basis for quicker thinking, better problem solving, and a sharper memory. A well-read brain isn't just full of facts. Its actual structure is more sophisticated. Okay, so the science is crystal clear. Reading rewires your brain for intelligence, period. So the only real question left is, what are you going to do about it? Let's turn all this theory into action.
Here it is, the 30-day rewiring experiment. There are just 3 simple rules. Number 1, read for 20 to 30 minutes every single day, no excuses. Treat it like an appointment you cannot miss. Number 2, pick books that stretch you a little. Comfort is the enemy of growth here. And number 3, read widely, mix it up. Fiction, science, history, philosophy. Rewire all the different parts of your brain.
And here's what you can expect. Week 1 is going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. Your brain is used to those easy dopamine hits and it's going to resist. You have to push through. Because by week 2, something is going to shift. You'll actually start to crave that reading time. Your focus will be noticeably better. And by week 4, you'll have a breakthrough. You'll just find yourself thinking with more clarity. Problems that used to feel overwhelming will start to seem manageable.
Look, every day, you are the architect of your own mind. You decide whether you're building pathways for distraction or pathways for depth, for clarity, and for intelligence. The tool is in your hands. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?